to my craft room. My name's Julianne Richards and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in southern Tasmania. Just bear with me, I'll make sure that my volume is right and that I'll share this over to my group, my crafting group. Bear with me, hope you're all having a wonderful weekend so far. It's Sunday morning here in Tassie and we've had a few really hot days. It's nice to be a little bit cooler today. So the volume sounds all right. I've just stepped away from the mic a little bit just while I do my sharing. So bear with me. Quite warm for little old Tassie the last few days. So we're looking for some cooler weather coming soon. So bear with me. I'm just sharing that. So that's been shared. Cool. Okay, we're done. We can get on with some crafting. Just as you jump on, please say hi. Tell me where you're watching from. If it's your first time, please tell me as well. It's love to know lots of new crafters who join for a little look at my work. Hey Glenda, I just saw you pop up there. Lovely to see you. And Susan's there as well. So great. A couple of housekeeping things to get through before we start. It's a very exciting time for me personally, for Stampin' Up! Demonstrators and customers all over the world. We've got a brand new mini catalogue to share with you. But also, more excitingly probably, we've got Celebration as well. So Celebration, for those of you who don't know, is an amazing time. I probably should, hang on, we'll talk about Celebration in a minute. I'll get rid of my February Fun Fold class first. This is my February Fun Fold class. As you guys know, I usually pick a theme every month just to make it a little easier for me to find appropriate cards, but it's nice to have a little bit of a theme running as well. And the theme for February is cascading cards. So we've got a cute little pleated cascading card there, a gatefold cascading card there, and a trifold cascading card there. So cascading means, I suppose, the layers come down in sort of like a layered approach or a reducing approach there. This month I am featuring this gorgeous yellow, bright, sunny paper. It's the Floral Delight paper. So you'll get a quarter of a pack of that paper and half a pack of these cute little dainty bee trinkets when you sign up for my class in February. I'm announcing it a wee bit earlier this time because we're actually away. I'm going to be away from the craft room for the first couple of weeks of February. So I'm getting the orders in and out to nice early folks before I go away. If you order too late, I'll have to order your paper and your bling for you, and get it to you when we get back in February. So I will take orders all the way through to the end of the month, to the end of January. But if you're sort of amongst that last few to book and pay, I may have to get them to you when we get back from our little road trip. So anyway, that's it, February there. I have actually worked out Marches as well. I'm really, really organised at the moment, and the ladies who came to my class yesterday had a little bit of a teaser of that. So March, I'm really pleased with how that's come up as well. So another couple of things, as I say, Celebration is an amazing time to be a Stampin' Up! Person. We have our joining offer, and I'll just run through this real quick. If you're actually thinking of joining Stampin' Up!, Celebration is the best time to do it. I just had my 7th anniversary, so that's really great. And I noticed that a lot of my ladies have their anniversaries this time of year as well. So right through to the end of February, if you join, you have 2 options at this time of year. You get the normal, amazing $235 worth of product of your choice, which is your normal starter kit deal. But you can also choose 2 packs of our, and here they are on the right-hand side there, you can also choose 2 packs of our right markers. So you can choose the colour families that you want. Each one has 10 markers in there, and they're our wonderful bright colours there. So you get to choose 2 of those, and you get this wonderful stamp set as well, so which is the handmade designs. And it's been designed so you can use it with the markers. So it's a really good complimentary offer. So all up, that little extra there brings your starter kit value to close on $400, so $397 Australian with free postage. So you're saving 6% as well on top of that. So I don't even know what that is. It's another $24 on top of that. So yes, so you are getting $397 worth of value for $169 with free shipping. So if you go for option 1, that is an amazing deal. If you're not keen on the markers and you're not keen on the stamp set, you can go option 2, which means you add another $51 worth of product of your choice. So rather than $235, you can choose $286 with free shipping and still only pay $169. So if you've been thinking about joining Stamping Up, you like what you see, you'd like an ongoing 20% discount, you'd like to be part of my Chatty Stampers team, please reach out and I can help you with that sign-up process. You don't have to do videos, you don't have to do classes, you can buy as much as you want for yourself or your family and friends. Just keep it really close to home. And if you don't meet your minimums, you just fall back to being a customer. There's no penalty. You don't have to pay anything back. It's just as easy as that. You stay active as long as you spend enough. And if you don't, you just drop back to being a customer. And nobody worries too much. But anyway, I'd love to have you stay in the team. That goes without saying. So just a close-up of that stamp set. Here's the stamp set, the handmade designs, as I mentioned. Little line drawings there that you can use your markers on. And also there's a couple of techniques you can do with markers that you can't do with blends. Our blends are alcohol ink, whereas our markers are the same ink as our ink pads. So the ink pad techniques, you can do them with the markers, so you can actually mark up your stamps and you won't leave them with horrible stains. So yeah, that's the joining deal. We also have lots of freebies and things when you, oh, that's me, you don't want me. Lots of freebies and things when you just buy Stamping Up during celebration, and I will definitely bring you a couple of those little extras as the next couple of months goes along. Okay, so we also had some pretty awesome online exclusives. Online exclusives. It doesn't roll off the tongue right today. Be released on the 7th of January as well. And I've been working through those over the last few weeks just to get you familiar with a few of them, the ones that I have, which is absolutely, they're really some really, really nice products. So I've been showing you those because they're not in any hard copy catalogue. I just wanted you to have a bit of a look at them before they came available. This one is the last one that I've actually got, and it's called the All Around It All bundle. I get that mixed up every time. Cute little stamp set. Don't get me wrong, I do like the stamp set, nice and funky and sort of retro sort of thing with the sort of really funky fonts there. But I think the dies are what actually make this one pretty special. They are circles. That's not a spiral. They're all just sitting on top of each other. There are 12 different sized circles, and they're sort of off circle. They're sort of, quickly drawn, slightly not circular circles. They've got their little bumps and lumps and things. And for that reason, I think this is why I left it for last, because the perfectionist in me had a real trouble with circles that aren't circular, if that makes sense. Anyone who sort of has a bit of a problem with things that aren't symmetrical like me, you probably would definitely know where I'm coming from. So I definitely left this one for last because I couldn't quite come to terms with non-circular circles. But anyway, during the week I decided to, as my friend Jan says, just do it. And I sat down and played with some ideas, and hopefully you'll like what I've come up with. So one of the cards I'm going to show you use both the dies and the stamp set, and then a couple just use the dies. And I'm also bringing in one of our new mini catalogue stamp sets, and that is the One More Year stamp set. It's a standalone stamp set, doesn't come with any dies or anything. Images aren't too bad to fussy cut. I've been fussy cutting them a bit. But they've got a little wry wink, a little wry humour to them. There's this cute little pug dog who looks like he's just stepped out of the latest Wolverine movie. I don't know if you've seen that. It's a bit rude, but we watched that, and it looks like the dog out of that. There's a wine and cheese. There's this hugely lit up birthday cake there, and there's a couple of sort of, faintly funny but not too insulting sentiments there. Happy birthday, now back to me. Happy birthday, another wrinkle wiser. You're how old in dog years you'd be, ... which is begging for a punchline as far as I know, but that's fine, it's not there. At least you're not as old as you'll be next year. And aging like fine cheese and wine, which obviously goes with this wine one down here. So, yeah, cute little stamp set, just a little bit not as formal as some of our stamps are, and I really like the images as well. So we'll use a couple of those with the dies as well. And then the last one, which I think is my favourite, and I'll get to you the story about that one when we get to it, is just using the dies. So let's do the one that uses the stamp set from the bundle and the dies. Yeah, Jen, they did my head in for the longest time, but yeah, as I say, just sat down and forced myself to try and get a little bit more creative with it. And yeah, hopefully you, like me, will like what you see. Okay, so this is the one I've come up with. I'm not overly sure that I've used the right embossing folder on this, so I might try a different one when we make this version together. We're using the stamp set, so we're using the congratulations there, which actually sort of stamps in negative. The writing itself is in white, and then the colour is in the surrounds there. It's a big day, and then you can actually choose whatever happens to be the big day you're going for. A wedding, that would be a pretty funky wedding card. That's obviously a graduation. This one being a baby. I don't know that you can actually pin down the day of a baby. May it be more of a christening or something like that, or a baby shower or something. I don't know. You make me smile, and just a smiley little face. So they're all sort of big chunky fonts and big chunky sort of quite simple drawings as well. But we'll use the graduation one, the congratulations one, and it's a big day to make this card. So I've gone bright. It's going to be sort of funky and sort of big and bold. I thought we had to go big and bright as well. So I've gone a square card this time, and this is a blueberry bushel card base, and it is, from memory, it's a 4 3/4 square card, 4 3/4 inches there. So just basically that there. Give it a bit of a burnish. So when I go blue, part of me always wants to go yellow, so the yellow's coming in there, and I've got a layer of yellow for behind. So we're actually going to stamp. I want to put our little circles on there. So I thought, let's go completely throw our colour blindness out the window and go some bright colours with those as well. So the circles I'm using are the Daffodil Delight, Poppy Parade, Pumpkin Pie, and Granny Apple Green. So there's the bright funky colours that I'm going for with the blue and the yellow. I've already stamped and die cut 3 of them, so I just need to do one more. So I've done the yellow, the orange and the green, so I'm just going to do the red one just to show you how easy it is. Here we go. So I've got this one already blocked up. He's a little bit dirty, so I'll give him a clean. So when I'm having a bit of a play with the stamp set, I tend to sort of have a look around, see if anyone else has done anything yet, see if there's anything similar out there. I might copy a few cards just to get my eye in, tweak a few, and see how I go. Definitely look at what's in the catalogue and how Stampin' Up have suggested you use the products. And this one is sort of based on something from the catalogue. So there we are. As you see, nice bright colour around the edge and nice clear, crisp congrats in there. So it is pretty 60s, 70s psychedelic stuff. So there, we'll just get the dies and we'll cut that one out. So as I say, there's 12 dies in there to pick the right size. Yep, that's the right size. And because they're not circular, you sort of have to search around a wee bit to try and work out where the angles are right. So he's actually that way. Once you see it though, you generally don't unsee it. And they're not all the same either, so they're not all that shape. Some have their pokey outy bits in different places, so each one is a new learning. I'll just use my little machine here. Now, if you do, you'd like to join the team, that's great. If you join my Chatty Stampers team, there's lots of benefits to that. We have our own Facebook group, which many team leaders have their own Facebook group. I pop sort of reminders and previews of things that are coming up and just make sure my team are informed what's happening through that group. I also pop all my classes up there. So all the PDFs of all my classes, I pop them up there for my team to access free of charge. So, yeah, it's a little added bonus to that as well. I'm always around to help you with your ordering. If you have computer problems or anything like that, I'm always around to help. I think that's one thing probably my team hopefully would agree, that I don't leave them hanging. If they need me, I'm there. Being retired is helpful with that. And, yeah, so we have a lovely little team. I'm actually going to catch up with a couple of them during my road trip, so that's going to be great. And I'll pop into New South Wales and see my lovely Deb and Naomi, who've been with me for the longest time. Okay, so there's our 4 little, my screen's gone funny. There's my 4 little circles there in my bright colours. I'll pop them straight onto our yellow card layer. And I'm just going to pop them straight on, bit of glue on the back. No dimensionals at this stage. I'm going to try and keep them in roughly the same orientation so they're all facing the right upwards way, if that makes sense. Just saw someone send me a message. Please don't be offended, whoever that was that sent the message. I'll get to you as soon as I finish the video. Nice and quiet here at the moment. Stevie's just gone swimming with his seniors club. It's a nice time to do a video around here. I don't have to feel like I'm half listening to see if he wants something, or if he crashes or bangs or drops something or can't find something. I don't know what husbands, whether it's just my husband, I don't know if it's husbands or partners in general, but Stevie insists on vocalising absolutely every little inconvenience. And I don't think I'm sort of talking out of school, because I have actually said to him, I wish he wouldn't do it, because I listen, I'm sort of might be sitting on the couch or something like that, and he can't find something, and I'll hear him go, blah, 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 where is that, blah, 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 blah. And I think he's talking to me. You know, it's like, you know, I think he wants me to help him, but he's just vocalising what's in his head. Or sometimes, you know, if I don't pack the dishwasher right, he hates that. If I don't pack the dishwasher the way he likes it, and he'll huff and puff and blow the house down. He's just terrible. But he talks, and they go, oh, no, I'm not talking to you. Anyway, am I alone in that annoyance with our partners? So it's nice and quiet, because I know he's not going to be huffing and puffing about anything in the background while I'm trying to work. Okay, so I'm going to grab an embossing folder for this one. As I mentioned, the first one I used the circle dots, because I was thinking circles, you know, circle dots, focus, blah, blah, blah. But then I thought, no, I think it's too dotty. I think it's too intrusive. I actually want something that's not quite as, you know, it's not going to take over quite as much. So what are we going to use? It has to be something non-floral. It has to be something with a bit of, it has to be a big one that's going to fit the big. I've gone away, so you probably can't hear me at all. I'll come back so you can hear me. Here's me across the room sort of having my conversations to myself. This is something that's a little bit modern, a little bit new, not quite, don't want flowers. What about the plaid? Plaid plaid one might be nice. This is from Forever Plaid. This is from the new catalogue. It's a new online exclusive, I think. Wood's not really appropriate. This is the Celebration freebie. This is the Stars one. I can't remember what the something Stars it's called. It's a free with $100 purchase. But sadly, I think it would be awesome, but sadly it's not quite wide enough. It's only 4 inches and we want to go, oh no, hang on. Hey. And I think I saw Gwenda's name pop up. Gwenda, are you on, lovely? Watching? That's Gwenda's birthday today, so happy birthday, Gwenda. I am going to use this one. This is the Stars. This is one of the bonuses for shopping during Celebration. I'll try and find my Celebration catalogue because it's always here somewhere. I had a class yesterday and everything's still a bit, still in the boxes that I had it all in to join. Okay, so this is the Celebration catalogue. I have a few of them left on hand if you'd like to reach out and grab one. There's our joining offer that I mentioned before, the slide that I showed you before. Lots of great freebies when you purchase multiples of $100 in a single order. So Celebration, as I say, is an amazing time to be part of Stamping Up. I'm trying to find the embossing folder. Here we go, Starstruck embossing folder. So there it is, down the bottom there, free with $100 purchase. So I will use that one on our on here. It just fits. It's so close. It'll be fine though. I suppose in a way, Stars is quite appropriate with our congratulations there. Now, if you do grab this Starstruck embossing folder, as soon as you grab it, you'll realise that it's a little bit thinner. It's a little bit thinner than our normal embossing folders. So whereas a normal embossing folder, I would just use my base plate and my embossing plate, which is the grey one. If you're using a Stamping Up machine and you've got this particular Celebration one, you have to put your plate 2 back in just to get it to go through. It's no great trauma. It works perfectly fine. It's just you need that extra plate, and it is, as I say, a little bit thinner. It's like the embossing folders of the old days were a bit thinner as well. So you pop that through with your grey plate and your plate 2 and it will be fine. So if you get it home and you think, oh gosh, this embossing folder is just no good, it won't go through, just have a bit of a play with your sandwich and we'll take it and it'll work like a dream, just like that. It's nice and subtle and it's not going to overpower our little congratulations. Okay, so that's our first step done. We'll grab our card base. As I mentioned, it's Blueberry Bushel. Thank you, Jeanette. I'm glad you're enjoying it. There she is, our girl. There's our birthday girl. Hey, Gwenda. Happy birthday. Love to you and Mr. M. So there we are. So as I say, I always go the blue and the yellow. That's my favourite go-to combination. I actually painted my kitchen blue and yellow once. I loved it. Stephen thought it was a little bit garish, but I loved it, and that's the main thing. I spend most of my time in the kitchen. So there we are. So that's the starts of our card. What I'm going to do now, that's fairly basic. Congrats. You can be congratulating anybody on just about anything with those congratulations. I've got another one of the same size circle. I'm going to grab my Blueberry Bushel ink, and it's a big day. And the right size block. Oh, excuse me. Dry throat. I've been talking too much. Bit unavoidable at the moment. So I'm just going to put It's a Big Day, nice and bright and bold and funky there. Straight onto the same. Okay, it's a good thing I wobbled. My ladies would say, don't wobble, Julianne. I did. I wobbled. It's because I'm going to cough and it's distracting me. Okay, let's try again. Ink it up properly and turn it over and don't wobble. That's better. No wobbling. Never said I was perfect. Okay, so we're also going to use the Blueberry Bushel ink and the little graduate's hat there. It's not as big. Although my kids wore their, what do they call it? Mortarboard hats when they graduated from uni the last few years, so that's quite appropriate. Now it only just fits on this little circle, so I'm hoping that I can get it on right. I might have to come all the way to the top, so forgive me if you see the top of my head, but I've disappeared off the edge. I just need to get over this little circle completely. Yep, there we go. And there we are. So it's a little hat there. I don't want to lose that, so I'll move that. There's the dies here. Okay, so this little guy is going to be on the front. I'm going to pop him on some dimensionals and the little hat off to the side. So as I say, you can swap out the image that you're using and make it a congratulations card for just about any or many purposes. Julianne, you're driving. Yeah, we are. Steve's driving. Oh, well, yeah, no, he usually drives. I can't stand the criticism. Everything I do. Isn't that terrible? I do love my husband. I don't mean to tell him, but he does, like he doesn't keep anything inside. He doesn't have much of an internal voice that doesn't become an external voice. So if I don't know, I brake too sudden or I might go a bit fast or I might go a bit slow, I do get told. And half the time it's just not worth the hassle of driving, so I tend to let him drive. I know that's very sexist, especially since it's actually my car. But anyway, no, he will drive. We are driving. We're going to take the ferry over, spend some time with some friends near Bairnsdale, and then come around to Albury, which is where we're going to see you and Naomi, Deb. Okay, so there we are. So that's that one. For bling, I think probably any not just general silver bling would work. I think that'd be quite nice. And that's a bright colour, colourful congratulations card there. Nice for a young person. Yeah, so there we are. So that's the first card. So that's the one I played with to try and come to terms with the stamp set itself. And I've used a few of the stamps on that one. So quite happy with that. Cute little funky stamp set. What can I say? Okay, now we moved on to the dies. So I decided that I had to get over my phobia about non-circle circles. So I sat down and I thought, no, you're not leaving this craft room until you've worked out how to use these circles. And the first attempt I made, when I saw the circles, and now this is where Jen, you and I have to try. When we saw the circles, I thought, well, some things are circular, but they're not circles, like the spots on an animal or the holes in some cheese or, things like that. So I had a bit of a play and I came up with a card. Well, I'll show you. I came up with this card, or a card very similar. This is a little guy here, as I say. It reminds me of the spots on an animal, or in this case, a little spotty dog. So there he is there. Now, the first card I made, I had exactly the same, except I had all little dots on it. I didn't have the big ones and the little ones. I just had all little dots on it. And I didn't have the dog. So it was just the card with the dots. I went to show Stephen, my husband, and I said, what does this remind you of? And he said, first of all, he said choc chips. I went, okay, fair enough. And then he said rabbit droppings. And I thought, well, that was just plain rude. So I definitely didn't make a card with rabbit droppings, but the choc chips, that stayed in my brain. So I thought, well, I'll change it. If I definitely wanted to have the spots on a dog, I'll change it so that they're all different coloured spots. And that's what I've come up with here. So we've got lots of little dots and lots of little, for our little splodgy dog there. So I think that's quite cute. So let's make this one first. So we'll get that one there. Now I'm using a different embossing folder here, and I'll show it to you very soon because it's also a brand new, mint new catalogue one. Okay, so the card base I'm using here, normal size rectangular card base as well. Yes, we've got a cabin on the Spirit, Deb. Yep, and this is in pecan pie. So this is the sort of pecan pie, very vanilla combo, this one. I've got one layer for inside, and I'll pop that in now. So we've got birthday cards being the theme of this month's group swap. So I reckon somebody's going to get these little dog cards as part of my birthday swap this month. And the reason we chose birthdays is because it's my birthday at the end of the month, and it's someone else's birthday as well who's watching. I don't know that she wants me to blab her birthday out, but yes, it's somebody else's birthday as well, which makes it a very special month. So I've got another layer of very vanilla there, and that's just a little bit smaller than the card base, and that's where we're going to stick all our little dots to. Got another piece of very vanilla, and I'm going to stamp and colour our cute little dog as well. We might do him first, so we'll move all that away. We'll get our little dog. Where are you, dude? Here we go. I'm going to just stamp him in black. There we are. I'm using my wonderful die storage to put my mobile phone on, so I had to jiggle it around a bit. It's also, if it's not just die storage, it's very handy mobile phone stand as well. Okay, so here's our little dog. I'm going to have to fussy cut him out, so grab a coffee if that don't want to watch the fussy cutting. So there he is. As you can see, he's lacking something that he eventually needs some spots. So he's got some spots on that, and he doesn't have spots there. So basically what I've done is grab my black right marker. I'm using the bullet end. I'm just going to give him some spots. I thought I could just sort of, put brown spots on him, but I thought he's got a black pencil style to him, and I really thought he needed the dots also needed a black outline just to stay with the type of image that it was. I'm going to use my so lots of gunners today. I'm going to use my pecan pie ink blend this time, not my I'll try and find the light one. Where's the light one? Yes, there are. So light and dark pecan pie. I will just, I think, light for his spots. You can see what I mean there, though, that if I just did some random circles, it wouldn't look quite in keeping, I don't think, in keeping with the rest of the stamp. I'm going to give him little pecan pie ears and a little bit of pecan pie on his tail as well. I'm going to leave him cream, so he's like a cream and pecan pie dog, the same as the card base. I'll give him a cute little, I should have got these colours out, apologies. No, not pretty in pink, I want my flirty flamingo for his tongue. There we are. And I'll give him a nice bright red cap. I'll just use my right marker for that. Just a nice bright red party hat. Love the right markers, definitely. If you're going to join, I'd say definitely go option one. He is, they are the best for colouring. And I'm just going to grab a yellow, just a random yellow, and just give the little boggle on the top of his hat, his little pom-pom, just a sort of a slightly yellow shade. It doesn't show up much against the very vanilla, but it's fine. Okay, scissors. I don't know how these scissors are going to go. I have a rule in the house that nobody uses my scissors but me, and they definitely don't use them for anything but cutting paper. And a year ago or so, my youngest was visiting, and I walk into the craft room, or the bathroom I think it was, and there he is using my craft scissors to cut his toenails. And those craft scissors have never been quite the same, and I think this is them. I gave them a good wash, don't worry. But yeah, he was told what for in no uncertain terms, especially when there's perfectly good, you know, fit for purpose scissors everywhere and clippers and things. But anyway, it's a good thing he's my baby. Okay, so I'm just cutting this little fussy dog out. He's not very fussy. He hasn't got anything to. The only trauma I think would be up under his ears. Got some red ink on me there. Would be up under his ears, but it's not too bad. Where's that red ink come from? Yes, so rabbit droppings. I wasn't going to go and make a card with rabbit droppings. I didn't think that was appropriate. But choc chips, keep that in mind that Stephen said choc chips. He's not the only one who said choc chips and didn't think of dogs. Somebody else who I usually rely on for artistic feedback also said choc chips. So, well, I'm on the wrong tack here. So, but I have thought about choc chips, and you'll see what came of that in a minute. Okay, so just a little bit more just up around his feet there. And he is done. There we are. I'll keep that because I need to do my sentiment. So there we are. That's our cute little guy with his dots. He's a bit over New Year. He definitely looks like he's had a big New Year, doesn't he? Okay, so let's finish this one. Let's get this one together. So that's our card base. Just had a, sorry, hot flush. Just put my fan on. Oh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Not. Okay, so this is our piece of cardstock here that we are going to put our dots on. I've cut the smallest next up and next up circles, and these are in our also in our pecan pie. I'm just going to randomly pop them as randomly as I can. I'm not good at random, as you guys know. I'm going to pop these all around just to give it that sort of spotty dog look. So I'm just trying to a little bit make it the same because I know that I liked the other one. Okay, just a few big, little, small. And I think this is definitely a little bit more like an animal would actually be. For all those naysayers out there. Okay, what do you reckon? A bit like that. There. So that's going to be my little dog there. So because I have an absolutely horrible, terrible, terrible memory for where things are, hope that noisy fan's not too noisy for you. Noisy fan's not too noisy. I'm just going to lift them with take my pick tool and pop it, put some glue underneath and then pop it straight back. Now you'll notice I'm only putting a little splodge of glue because I'm going to pop it through the embossing folder. I don't want too much glue because it'll spread. It'll spread out the edge once I put it through the embossing folder. So yeah, just a tiny bit of glue just to keep it in place. And as I say, that's going to spread a fair bit once it goes through the machine. There's a few that are over the edge, so we'll give those a little bit of a trim. he's already down. He's already down. What about you? Just go up there. Okay, I think they're all on. Oh, I hate it when it happens when I'm crafting. How rude of myself. Somebody said that these hot flushes can go for 10 years. I'm going to die if it happens for 10 years. It's a bit hard to tell in summer because it's hot anyway, but, oh, man. It does leave you feeling very, very, very drained. Anyway, all good. So there we are. So that's our little dotty thing there. What I'm going to do now is grab my guillotine and chop the edges ones off, and then I'll pop it through the embossing folder. Now, I want to show you the embossing folder. I love it. It's in the new mini catalogue, and it's based on, I think they call it plaster. So it's supposed to look like, you know, the sweeping strokes you get when you plaster a wall or whatever you plaster. I'll show you. But to me, it lends itself quite nicely to this design because it looks a little bit like the shaggy fur of an animal. Can somebody tell me whether you can hear that fan going in the background or whether it's too loud? And if you can hear me asking the question, then probably the answer is no. There we go. So I've chopped off those edge ones and we've just got the little circles on there now. So get rid of that. Okay, won't put that too far away because we need it again. We're going to grab the embossing folder. I think it's called plaster strokes or something like that. So you can see they're sort of like you've pushed some paint or the plaster up into these little peaks here. It's really good. I like it a lot. I'm going to use it. And it's huge. Look at it. It's bigger than my hand. So it's a really good size. You can get a good size card in there. So I'm just going to pop that in there like that. And as you can see, we're going to get all that lovely sort of ripple effect. Just bring back my machine, hopefully without losing anything. Go out of the way, dog. Get rid of my stars. I don't need that one now. So I have launch in a couple of weeks. So yesterday fortnight is my product launch. Probably won't see a lot from me as far as new product. I don't like to I'll show you the odd thing here, but I do like to keep my new projects under wraps for the first little while until I get launch out of the way, and then I'll come and show everything. I just like my launch ladies to be able to see it first. You saw it first here, guys. So, which means probably if you want to see, come along to launch. Just reach out and I can get you in. So there we are. So you see there, we've got that sort of looks like a furry sort of look there with our great little animal fur dots. Okay, I can turn that off now. It's past. Oh no. Phew. It goes up a few levels before it goes down. So, okay, so let's get this on our way. So there's our little furry background. I'll pop this onto the card. It's a really deeply embossed embossing folder. So I'm sort of using a fair bit of glue to get into all the nooks and crannies. Let's pop that onto there. Yeah. Little dog. I've got this is slightly larger, one of the circles, and I've popped that in very vanilla as well. So I'm going to pop that just on the card there to have my little guy sitting on it, and the sentiment as well. So the sentiment I'll use, obviously it's meant to go, how old are you in dog years you'd be? And then maybe you do a follow on with, 102 or something overly inflated because dogs' years are 7 people years or whatever it is. I might do something a bit different though. I'll use Happy Birthday, Another Wrinkle Wiser, because these ones are quite wrinkly, aren't they? So I thought that's quite appropriate. Yeah, where is it? Another Wrinkle Wiser. There we are. I'll just stamp that in black. Oh, still quite hot. Maybe it's just hot in here. It was quite hot. The last few nights have been really hot. Hot, not hormone hot like me, but just generally hot. So Stephen was saying the other night, oh man, it's hot. I can't get comfortable. It's so hot. And I sort of looked at him and went, well, welcome to my world, buddy. We ended up both of us having the fan going. So Happy Birthday, Another Wrinkle Wiser. I'm just going to cut that down to size. I might use since my guillotine is here handy, I might just use that to cut it down. Not quite straight there. We'll do that. Yeah. Cut that down. You'll notice this is not a Stampin' Up guillotine. I don't know that you had to be told that. Stampin' Up don't have a guillotine, so I bring out my old favourite Creative Memories one. It's very handy just for these little jobs where you don't want to get the whole thing happening with the trimmer. There we go. So just a little sentiment box there, just cut to size. Our little doog, that's already glued on. Okay, some dimensionals in the back of our dog. And then the sentiment coming out to on the right hand side. Here we are. Okay, so there is our little happy birthday there, our dog. Bling, I've used some, what were that? Just some glimmer gems from the annual catalogue, but you could use anything you've got in hand, a silver or something like that would look fine. And there we are. So there's our two little happy birthday. So that's our little dog. So when I was also, as I say, I was actually thinking about what I could use this for. And I was also thinking about this cute One More Year stamp set, which I absolutely love. The cake didn't really come to mind, but then I thought this one with the cheese. And this is just me mucking around. You probably hate this. And I mean, it's not my favourite card and I probably wouldn't send it to anyone. But I was thinking cheese can be holy too, can't it? And have sort of irregular holes. So as I was just playing and getting used to the stamp set and the dies, I made this one. So this is using the cheese. So I used my blends to colour the cheese. Aging like fine wine, cheese and wine. So the background is obviously meant to be the holes in some cheese. I think that's lemon lolly and daffodil delight there with the holes in the cheese there. So that's just, I was playing. As I say, I don't think I'd send it to anyone, but it was just having a play along the same lines as our little Spotty dog there. So just an idea. Okay, so that's the stamp set, the One More Year stamp set and the dies. The next one came to mind when everyone kept calling my card choc chip cookies. I thought, well, if you can't beat them, join them. And I made a card that is hard to get out of the bag for a start, a great big choc chip cookie. So here we are. So you can see a bit like what the original card looked like. It just had the dots everywhere and they're all the same size. So that's when Stephen and Jan thought it was choc chip cookies. So I thought, well, go with it. So I made this one. And I thought, well, I'll use the biggest die from the die set and actually make my card a big choc chip cookie. So rather than having the cookie sounds wrong, choc chip cookie on a card, it became the card itself. So I'll just show you how I've made that one nice and easy. It uses the same stamp set, the same embossing folder as I did with the dog, but it just makes it look like it's a freshly out of the oven cookie. Okay, so the biggest die from the die set, as I said, there's 12 and they range from huge to tiny. So we're using this big one here, roughly 5.5 by 5 inches gets you a piece of cardstock big enough for that. So as you can see, it's card size all by itself. And this tiny little one here that I've used for the choc chips is as well. So the big one is the card and the smaller, tiniest one is the choc chips. So I've cut myself, as I say, about 5.5 by 5 gets you the size that's right for the card base. Grab the biggest die, pop those aside so I don't lose them, and position the die on the card base so that you've got some overhang, you can see that, on the spine side, okay? And if you cut through and leave that uncut, you'll end up with that nice opening sort of look, so the whole card. Now, the circle again is not the same circle as all the others. It's slightly a different circle, but it has sort of what I thought, this sort of flat-ish edge here. So I thought, for the sake of getting as much spine as I could possibly get, I would put that flat edge over the edge there. So then we've got the card with the score that's sort of a good size. If I did sort of some other way, you'd end up with smaller overlap and you wouldn't get as much, and your card would be, I think, quite fragile. So I'm going to cut it like that, just with the edge like that. I'll grab my cut and emboss machine again. I popped a graphic up on my Facebook page during the week, because I know a lot of ladies who watch would love a brand new cut and emboss machine. So, as I mentioned in the Facebook page, if you want a brand new cut and emboss machine, the big one that I'm using here, you could actually get that. They retail for $227, worth every penny, but you could get that as part of your starter kit and get your embossing machine plus all those extras that we talked about before, close to $400 worth for $169 with free delivery. So that's actually cheaper than the embossing machine by itself. So think about that if you're actually looking for a new machine or you'd like to upgrade to the Stampin' Up one. It's definitely an awesome deal. Now I've cut that doubly. A couple of them, I might have to give that a little bit of a trim there. Pull that off, and as you can see now, it opens like that, like a card. Get rid of that. I don't think I need that. I'll need it to do the embossing in a minute. I have a mini guillotine, Linda. Yeah, I have that one too, Linda. It was a Celebration freebie, I think, or a Celebration or a joining offer thing. I do have it. I got to say I don't like it as much as my Creative Memories one. I don't usually say that, do I? It's not usually the case, but in this case, my little guillotine, I love it. And I don't feel bad saying that because, as I say, they don't actually have one currently available. Okay, so there's our little card that opens up like that. I'm going to actually make the cookie on a separate card because I don't want to have to put that through the embossing machine. I think it would weaken it a bit much and it wouldn't hold up its shape properly. Okay, so here I have the little choc chips. and I'm happy to accept them as choc chips now. There's 10 of them there. The dies cut perfectly well on double layers of cardstock, so there's 10 chocolate chips here, but I only had to run it through 5 times to get it. So you're not sitting there on the embossing machine for 4 hours cutting singles. You can cut them as doubles. Pop them all around like I did before, and then glue them down. Trying to be random. I'm not good at random. You guys have probably worked that out by now. Everything sort of needs to be equidistant. There you go. That's my university coming out there. Everything has to be equidistant, like the same distance away from each other. Yes. I'm a bit over the top like that. Anyway, so same deal. I'm going to pick them up, pop some, ooh, that was too much glue. Pop some glue, less glue than that, some glue, and pop them back down again. Okay. Is that all of them? Oh, no, it's not. There we go. That's all of them. Okay. Now that is a chop chip cookie. That I can give you is a chop chip cookie. There you go. What do you reckon? Now, we've got that little bit in the original card where we chopped the edge off. Well, we didn't chop the edge off. We cut it over the edge of the die so that it would stay in a card shape. So what I'm going to do is line the two images up so that they're the same. I'm not going to glue it down just yet. Just lining them up so that they line up with each other, and then I'll grab my scissors or whatever else and just very carefully, so I don't chop the spine of my card, cut along the edge. There we go. So they line up now and they've got the same sort of straight edge. Okay, let's bring back our awesome plaster embossing folder. And this time it's not fur. This time it is fresh baked cookie goodness. Get rid of that. Bring that in. Now, there's one last thing I'm going to do with this particular cookie. As you know, you bake your cookies and your oven is never 100% even. You've got hot bits and cold bits in your oven, so parts of your cookie get brown and parts of it stay white and parts of it don't get cooked at all if they're in my oven. So I'm going to grab my blending brush and my crumb cake ink. That's what the card base is. Apologies, I should have told you. The card base is crumb cake and the dots are early espresso. So I'm going to grab my crumb cake ink and my blending brush, and I'm just going to give it a little bit, especially around the edges where you get that crunchy baked goodness. Just giving it a little bit of crumb cake darker. You see that already? You can see it sort of takes on a life of its own, doesn't it? Oh, it's a bit particularly burnt down the bottom there. I'm just going to run it sort of generally over the top very lightly, just so that it picks up the higher parts or the peaks of that embossing folder, just to give it a little bit more sort of look like it's, you know, because it's the high bits that get the higher bits that get the crunch when something's in the oven. There you go. How's that? It just adds a little bit more, I think, a little bit more reality to the card. There we are. Okay. Now let's pop that onto our card base. I'm just going to glue it, or snail it, or double-sided adhesive it, whatever you use. Especially, as I say, it is a really deeply embossed folder. Line those two up with the sharp, the straight edges together. There we are. There we are. So that's our cookie. I reckon Cookie Monster would love that one. Okay, so it doesn't, the downside with this one, it won't stand up. It's a circle. It's not going to stand up. Might stand up that way. Oh yeah, it could stand up that way. You could do it that way if you wanted. Sort of do it whichever way it stands up. But anyway, it doesn't stand up. Be warned. The sentiment. Now, the sentiment, there's no, I couldn't find a particular cookie-based sentiment. I know we had cookies in a stamp set that Love You More Than a few years ago, but I don't have that anymore. So I just got Ice Cream Swirl. This is in the annual catalogue. Hope your day is sweet. I thought ice cream sweet, cookies are sweet. Let's just use that. Have I got it out still? Make a wish. Have I got it? I must have it ink locked up. I've got it locked up. Here it is. Here we go. So there it is. I've got a scrap of crumb cake, my black ink. I hope your day is sweet. And rather than pop that on as a big rectangle and cover over my beautiful cookie, I'm going to cut it into 2 strips. So just again, with my poor scissors that suffered the indignation of being used to cut my son's toenails, fingernails, whatever it was, I'll cut this one. So 1 strip there. Hope your day is. And then the sweet. And I haven't been overly too precious about how straight those lines are, because I think the whole look of it is, you know, it's organic, isn't it? It can be a little bit wobbly. Okay, so I hope your day is. We'll use a couple of dimensionals. I haven't, again, popped any bling on this one. You could use, yeah, I don't think it needs it, to be honest. I haven't seen a chopped chip cookie with shiny bits on it before, so I'm just going to leave the bling off. Although probably the ones that came with the coffee sweet, the swirly ones, they'd be all right. Or maybe a tiny bee, so like a bee is flown in onto your cookie. Sort of the tiny bee trinkets. Anyway, all good. Hope your day is sweet. Here we are. Now, inside this one, I thought you could just go down a couple of levels, and that's what I've done in the first one. Just go down a couple of levels and cut yourself another panel of white, or very vanilla would work as well. Cut that and then pop that in, and that's your inside there. I won't bother doing that now, but you can see what I mean. Go down a couple of levels in the circle, cut it from white or cream, and you've got your inside there for your personal message. And that is the second card. Hopefully you like that one too. That was I was really pleased when I came up with that one. I thought, as I say, everyone seems to think they were choc chips, so let's make them choc chips. So we've got 2 yummy cookies there as well. Okay, so what you've been watching is the Around It All bundle. So there's the dies with our 12 wonderful, not quite circly circles. It has the stamp set, which is cute as well. And you've also seen me use the One More Year stamp set there with our cute dog. And we used the wine and cheese there as well. Okay, so hopefully you like those. Pop on and check them out online. Give me a call. Drop me a message if you have trouble finding the online exclusives online. They can be a little bit tricky to find if you're used to seeing everything in one place, but I can definitely show you how to find them. I showed a couple of ladies at class yesterday how to find them online, so I'm happy to walk you through that as well if you have trouble finding the menu for the online exclusives, which is where those dies will be located. There's our cards for today. Hopefully I have overcome my dislike of non-circly circles, and I can go and make some great new designs with these as well. But I love those cookies. I think they're so cool, and our cute little dog. But anyway, thanks for joining me. As I say, please reach out if you'd like to enrol for my class, my February class, which I'm taking numbers for now. If you'd like to talk about joining Stamping Up and joining my little team, that would be great as well. We'd love to have you. Or if any questions about anything card or Stamping Up related, I'm happy to help. So great. Have a great rest of your weekend. My thoughts are with everybody who are suffering through fires and floods and everything else that's going on in the world at the moment, but thinking of you. And I will chat to you all again